Right, thanks to our friends at Need a Car, we're headed for Meremere Dragway to catch up with the American Muscle Car Club of New Zealand.
It was set up in 1986. It was an idea of a guy called Alan Edwards, and with about 5 other people they got together and had a meeting in Liverpool Street in Epsom and decided to come up with the American Muscle Car Club. There was a little bit of toing and froing what was a muscle car at the start, but they came up with 1961 to 71 American performance cars, 2-door car or convertible, performance engine. It was also set up as an associate membership for cars outside that were appropriate.
It's definitely a club for people that are passionate about muscle cars. It's obviously hence the name. The club has a lot of purists that like the hubcaps, steel wheels, and we've got a lot of people that like the more street rod type stuff as well. But certainly a big membership, 150 people plus. Very social club, families included. We always get out somewhere, try and be as responsible as we can. Like, we are all gearheads at heart, but we try and be as responsible as we can.
We have a number of members who have been like second generation people. You know, we bring our kids along to most of our stuff, so it's pretty cool. I mean, if you're into muscle cars, we call ourselves the best club in the world. You know, it's fantastic.
Well, I think the muscle cars was a special place in time. You know, in the 60s, early 70s. I was happy to be there. The music and the cars.
They're a dying breed. They're not making any more. They're from a bygone era. You can buy new cars that are faster than these cars. That's a given. But these cars just have a thing. Maybe it's the time when we grew up, our generation.
Always loved them, haven't always been able to afford them. It's just something different. You know, I've got a late model Mustang as well, and you know, at the end of the day, they're just two totally different vehicles. There's nothing like getting in a 60s muscle car and having a bit of fun.
And today's club day would certainly see plenty of that. The American Muscle Car Club are no strangers to Meremere Dragway's quarter mile. They've been holding the very popular Father's Day drags there for many years now. Well, except for this one. 2017's event finally cancelled after no less than 3 rain-offs. But with hundreds of competitors, the Father's Day drags don't make for an entirely relaxed affair if you're a club member, most missing track time to ensure the day runs as planned. So club days like this one make for a good opportunity to cut loose. And with a range of marks falling under the muscle car banner, it's also a chance to settle some scores.
Always a bit of rivalry between the Ford boys, the Chevy boys, and then the Mopar guys throw, their 2 cents in. And
some of us are quite one-eyed about what brand we get. You know, I got 6 cars and they're all Fords. It's easy to spell.
Certainly today, once you put that helmet down, all those things you plan not to do just go out the window, and you get your race face on and think you're better than you possibly are. And bias ply tyres and horsepower are not a great combination. So a lot of guys will run slicks today. There's definitely some veterans here as well that are very, very good at drag racing, and there's some newbies. So it's a case of not letting the race fever take over really today.
The whole thing is a fun day. I mean, drag racing is a little bit like playing a social game of footy, you know. No one ever plays a social game of footy. You always play the best you can. We always thrash our cars as hard as we can. But yeah, it is a low-key day. There's no championships. We've got a couple of little trophies, big deal. It's like chocolate fish racing, you know. You know, we do some little things like take the road tyres off. Those who want to run slicks on the back, they do that, you know. Open the exhaust, make a bit of noise, because we all like the sound of noise. We don't know if it makes it go faster, but it's a bit of fun.
Right, thanks to our mates at Need a Car, we're back with the American Muscle Car Club at Meremere Dragway. And as the name suggests, it's a club passionate about the golden era of factory performance cars. In fact, obsessed might be a better word.
An illness, I think my wife calls it, but you know, I've got it and I don't mind it.
My wife and I have been together for 11 years, and the car The green car behind me is our 40th car in 11 years, so some tell me it's a disease, and if it is, well, I'd never want to cure.
Certainly from 61 to 71, I'm well and truly stuck there. I've got 4 or 5 of them, and again, everyone likes their favourite. I've got a thing about post sedans, 2-door sedans, hence this car. I like the pure, raw, no frills approach of a post sedan. They were the cheapest thing going, and usually had the biggest engine jammed in it, so it kind of works for me. And I like steel wheels. Come to New Zealand recently. It's a 69 Buick Special. It's a 15,000 mile car, so been stored in the barn. Little old lady owner, everyone's heard it, but was pulled out of a woodshed in Michigan. Guy that worked on the car has been running it in the pure stock muscle car drags in the US. Cars run a best of in the 12s. Small block 350 Buicks are not known for making loads of power, so it goes pretty good.
It's a 1966 Chevrolet Biscayne. It's running a 540 big block Merlin, turbo 400 and a Dana 60 rear end. So it's a good old car. It looks like a bit of a sleeper until currently we've got some slicks on there, but normally around the street it's a good old sleeper. So it's a great old car. Today's really just a trial and error day, really, just see what it's like. It has done an 11.36 at 119 miles per hour, but that's back in Arizona, so with the previous owner. So hey, whether I'll be doing that today, I doubt very much. But today's just let's get used to it, get familiar with it before it ends up in the Armco on the wall or something silly like that, which nobody wants.
69 Mercury Cougar. I've had it decoded through the Cougar Club of America. Apart from the paint, it did leave the factory as a green car, but it's actually wearing a Commodore colour at the moment. And the only other thing is non-factory. It's got a black interior. It did come out with a sort of parchment interior. It's got a 351 Windsor, 420 horsepower, 3-speed top loader. So yeah, as much as I was at the Street Rod Nationals a couple of weeks back and I saw a couple of younger guys go past and went, oh wow, a 4-speed. No, it's a 3-speed, and even for a man of my era, it's taken a little bit to get used to of 3-speed on the floor instead of on the column.
A 1972 Oldsmobile 442, but it's got the W30 option, which was the high performance option for Oldsmobile from 68 through to, well, it went a bit later than that, but 72 was probably the end of an era to a certain extent for muscle cars.
Other commitments meant John wasn't racing today, but when your car looks this good, you're going to find yourself on telly anyway.
It's a rare car, it's one of only 289 4-speeds that were made. It's very fast, on the track of course. I just love the lines, the 4-speed, you got to drive it. It's just a lot of fun.
And there's plenty of other rare tin in the AMCC lineup. But if you thought that meant wrapping them in cotton wool, then you haven't met Rob.
This car is a 1969 Shelby Mustang GT500. This is a factory big block 4-speed car. This is not a clone, this is the real deal. This is one of 400 cars that were made on the planet. There's probably only 150 left now today. So out of my 6 American cars, this is the most expensive one, but I like it. All my cars are warriors. I put them in shows, but they don't win much. If you look at it closely, you'll see stone chips everywhere. I drive my cars hard. I've read articles that say that when they made them, the young guys were writing them off quicker than they could actually manufacture them. I don't know, but I think all of this generation of cars were probably responsible for all the insurance premiums going up crazy as well in the States, so see how we go.
And presuming Mother Nature gets her act together, the American Muscle Car Club will be back with Father's Day drags in 2018.